Okay, we'll continue this morning with Coach Brandon Lyles, beginning his 5th year.
Yes, sir.
Where's time gone, Coach? I remember when you were playing, and now you've been coaching for 5 years.
I don't look the same, that's for sure. I've gotten a lot older, bigger.
You don't look much different, but it's good to have you guys. If you'd let them introduce themselves or you introduce them and your position, we'd appreciate it, and some opening comments from you.
Yes, sir. We'll start from the left over here.
I'm Zane Hayes. I'm a senior, and I play left tackle.
I'm Brock Walls. I'm a senior, and I play middle linebacker.
Cannon Murray, senior, running back and middle linebacker.
Kason Walls, senior, quarterback.
Brody Campbell, senior, wide receiver.
As far as open remarks, first of all, we appreciate you guys doing this. This is awesome. Ever since I've been a head coach, I've been a part of this, and I enjoy it. As far as we go, we've got 26 seniors, I would say the most Douglas has ever had in the school history. And it's a quality group. There's the majority of those guys have been playing since they were 8th grade, since I got there, so I've been able to see them grow. They're not just really good football players, but they're great kids off the field. This is one of the first groups I feel pretty confident in that I can walk away from the locker room and feel like there's not just going to be a bunch of clowning going on in there. They're a good group. We've got talented freshmen coming in that need to know how stuff needs to be ran, and it's good to have these young men to kind of lead them and show them the way. So we're excited about this season for sure.
Coach, as a Douglas graduate, you talk about seniors. That's the most I can ever remember, as you said, being at Douglas. So how does that make you feel as a Douglas graduate, you being the head coach? And then talk about how many returning starters you might have.
Well, it feels good just knowing my first year, I think we finished the season with 19 total kids. So, in the summers, we were trying to pull 11, 12 guys just to have a practice. And a lot of that was the COVID stuff, and that hurt us. But just watching these kids build, and a lot of them's played a lot of football from Pee Wee all the way up, so they've gotten a ton of experience, especially there's several of these guys that are 4- and 3-year starters. A couple of them 2-year starters, but really stepped into a role last year and took control of it. And, we're excited about these guys. On offense, we've got 8 returning starters. On defense, we've got 6 returning starters.
Hey, Coach, guys, good to see you. Coach, for you, going into year 5, what would a successful season look like to you? Whether that's wins and losses, whether that's stuff off the field, just what would be success in 2024?
Well, a few years ago, we made the playoffs for the first time in 25 years, and so I'm itching to get back, and I know these guys are too. They got a taste of it as freshmen, and that is our goal. Also, I just want these guys to be leaders of men and, try to represent their school, their family, their community. Several of them are enriched in their faith, and, it's good to see. So I want them to learn to be respectful out of the community, but in return, hopefully they'll show out on the field this year too.
Coach, what do you feel like your team's biggest strength is right now, and then what's kind of the one thing that's still keeping you up at night as we sit about a month away from the season?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that keep me up at night in football, but, for offensively, our skill guys, I would say is as good as it's been since I've been there as a group, as a depth. Like I said, a lot of seniors stepping up, got some younger guys that are going to be able to help us. And then offensive and defensive lines is always something that Douglas, you try to get them out from the hallways and try to build them at a young age. We've got some younger guys that finally were not thrown in as freshmen. My first year, I had 4 starters on the line that were freshmen. And so they graduated, and so now we've got several guys having to come up, but they've been in the program, in the weight room, getting stronger. They've had a great offseason. So that would be one thing, it's a wait and see how they improve, and they've improved up to this point.
My question is to each one of you guys. We get fortunate enough to go all the way across the state from Mobile to Tennessee and cover sports, but you're led by one of the best coaches, one of the best men that I know that's doing what he does. What's it like being around him each and every day, and some of the life lessons away from football you've learned from this man?
It's great. It's kind of like a father figure. We go to the same church, so he's a great role model to look up to.
As a coach, he's taught us more what to be outside of just football and to grow up to be good men and just to be a great father to one day.
He teaches us how to be a successful man in life and just how to live life right and just, I don't know. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah, he's a great role model and a great coach.
He's a great man, I'd say, and you can tell how passionate he is about his faith, about his football, and you can tell how much he wants everybody to feel like they're all part of a big family here on the Douglas football team.
Coach, if you would, your first 3 games after an open week in week 0, you get them at home. How important is that to get off to a really good start with that opportunity? Not a lot of teams get 3 straight home games to open the season. How important is that for the Eagles?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, it's just kind of how the schedule's set up this year. We've got 6 home games this year. Our community shows up for sure. And, you know, just being able to start those first 3 at home, it'll be good, especially some guys who are just getting into starting roles that are trying to get experience just to kind of get the cobwebs out. And, you know, I know when we go on that road, that'll be a challenge, but at least they'll have a little bit of experience, you know, going forward.
Coach, I had the opportunity to call one of the best football games, in my opinion, in 2023 from atop your press box at Arthur Jarvis Stadium when you took on the Arabian Nights. You guys got really hit with the injury bug in that game and thereafter. How important is it to keep this team healthy?
Well, it would have been better if we would have won, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and, you know, you can't control injuries, but we did get hit pretty hard with those last year. We've got guys coming back from that are excited to be back. But it also allowed us to get some guys experience that didn't have that experience last year, that may not have been thrown into that role. So they get to come back and have, you know, that experience under the belt. But, you know, it's just going to be one of those deals where our guys have been in the fire. A lot of them been, you know, been 4-year starters. And I think there's an expectation around Douglas that those guys are going to show up and play. And I'm hoping it's their best football going forward. Like I said, you can't substitute 26 seniors. That experience is amazing to me. And several 4-year starters, 3-year starters.
Coach, could you talk about the things you've done this summer, OTAs, 7-on-7s to get this team ready for the fall?
Right. We were able to host 7-on-7 at Aberville a few weeks ago. We were able to get 19 teams come over there. It was a great event, great environment. Our kids are learning to compete. You know, and when I first got to Douglas, that was kind of, some of them, when I told them we were going to 7-on-7, they didn't really know what that was. So these guys have been able to get a taste of it, and they enjoy doing that. And then the OTA stuff, you know, with 11-on-11, we've had a few of those. You know, we know that's important, but also being able to put the pads on and go play real football is our ultimate goal, and we're excited to get started.
Guys, question to you. How does it make you feel to be selected by the coach or your teammates to represent those 26 seniors, to represent this Douglas football team here at Media Day today?
It feels great. You know, I think if we could, we'd want to have all 26 here, but I think that we'd need a real long table for that. But I personally, I feel honored to be one of the 26 chosen to be up here.
Yeah, like you said, it feels pretty good. And we are, like, I guess, the leaders of the team, and he brought us to represent.
I feel honored, and I feel like he thinks that I'm a good leader. All of us are good leaders, and that we know what we're doing.
It means a lot to be chosen to be up here to talk for the rest of the team about how the season goes and what we expect from them.
Elaborating on what these guys said, it's a great honor to represent us.
Coach, question to you. And I think I've asked this before, but just about everybody on your staff seems like they're from Douglas. You have just a group, and to me, that is one of the reasons that has paid off for this group to have 26 seniors, because you're from that area. How important is that to you to have those Douglas guys, and how important do you think it is in the community for Douglas folks to coach there?
Well, I've said this from day one. It would take a special person to stick around through Douglas, and it needed to be people that were kind of entrenched in the community. And that helps me tremendously, having these guys that care about the program. And that's how we built stability there. before I got there, and I'm not just saying this because of me, these guys too, but it was kind of a revolving door. Coaches would stay a year or two and be gone. But it wasn't just from the head coach. It was assistant coaches too. So now, you know, I've been fortunate enough to have these guys working with me now for 5 years, going on 5 years. And we've kept that staff together. And these kids get to show up every day and see the same faces. And I know that means a lot to these guys too.
All right, guys, talk about team goals for this year as a group of seniors, all 26 of you. I know you worked out this summer. I know you've talked about team goals for your senior year, and also maybe any individual goals that you have for this season.
I would say our team goal's been the same about as long as I've been in the program. It's always to go out there, compete in the games, and win. Because at the end of the day, you know, you want to win as much as you can, and we've been in the playoffs our freshman year, and we really want to go back. But a personal goal of mine is just to be a leader. There's 26 of us seniors leaving, and as one of the only linemen that's graduating, I'd like to be one of the ones to build a foundation that the younger guys under me can get up on, and by the time they're up here, they can be better than me and have a better program overall.
Yeah, and like you said, that we would like to go to the playoffs again, and I'd just like to be better and better every day.
I would just like to be a better player, a better leader, and team goal, just be more competitive and win the tough games.
As a team goal, maybe hit another chance at the playoffs again, as win as many games as possible. And a player goal, just leave it all on the field no matter what. Wins and losses, just give all the glory to God.
One of our team goals and personal goals, Coach talked about having a great community. They show up every day, and I want to make them proud, you know, try to be as best I can be for the good role model.
Okay, anybody else, anything for the Douglas Eagles? All right, guys, we appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this year.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.